the secret. The bigger the wire, the less tuning you gotta do. So if you do it on 22 gauge, every time you're gonna turn 5 kcs on your radio, you're gonna retune. Every 2 to 3 kcs, you're gonna retune with 22 gauge wire. I'm running 10 gauge wire, okay, bigger, circumference wise. They call that the skin effect. And the bigger the skin effect, the less you have to tune. I can tune across the whole band without retuning because I'm running 10 gauge wire. Do you understand the details I'm talking about now? I'm trying to make it very clear, very simple.
Oh God. Well, yeah, you're talking in layman's terms. So let's just say I use 14 gauge wire. And how many feet? I mean, could I use 400 feet and wrap it in coils like you said? Let's just say I use 14 gauge. I don't want to use 10. I mean, I don't have that kind of money. I don't have your money, Fred. I'm trying to make this simple.
Well, you do. You got all those chairs that you pay $75 for. You're selling all that stuff there. There's all your money right there.
Yeah, Fred, if you're listening to me, the key word is I have to sell them. I haven't, I've put them up. They've been on sale for a week. Haven't got any bites. I lowered the price. The question is, if I use 14 gauge, how many feet should I do and get, you said 3-inch OD PVC. You said about 10 feet of it, or I forget. You get, and then wrap in coil. Don't let them touch, and then wrap the excess around the house. Come back around. That's easy to do. I can buy a spool of wire, and then I'm assuming get a balun. I can go to HRO this morning and get a balun. What kind of balun do you recommend?
I'm not even running a balun at all. You can run a balun, yes, but I'm not running a balun at all. I'm going to my foreman here. I'll tell you what to cut the wire to. What band you want to? You want to get on? You want to get on 75?
Yeah, wherever you're hanging out, I want to be with you and Perry. So right now I'm tuned to 3.845. Let's just use that as an example frequency. So with that said, how many feet would behoove me to decently go out? And I'm using 100 watts without an amp. And I should be able to talk all over the place, correct?
Yeah, okay. What was the frequency you gave me? I was busy doing a math thing. I got the math figured out. If you want to be on 3.800, which is the center of the frequency, okay, to run a square loop, the total length is 264 feet 9 and 13/16. That's the total length. Okay. To talk on that, I got over 500 feet, so I doubled it. I made mine bigger. That's the minimum.
Longer.
264 feet. So you can round it off. 265 feet.
All right. Well, let's say I buy a 500-foot spool of 14 gauge wire. I can run the whole spool out, correct?
Yes. There's pros and cons on that. Let me figure the math on this one. I'll be back with you. Listen a minute. Hold on.
All right. And if you're okay with this, I'm recording this because my retention level is not as good as yours. So I'm recording it. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel, and I won't put it public because I know you don't like to be on you don't like to have the center of attention, and unless you want me to, I'll publicize it on my YouTube channel. And let's just say you told me, well, let's just use, we're going to use, yeah, 3.800 as a center frequency. And then the tuner part, I'm going to need an external tuner, a good one. These internal tuners on my Yaesu won't work, correct?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. Anyway, if you double that up, you come up with 528 feet. That's where you hear me talking about 550 feet. I rounded up. 528 feet. I just doubled it up. Okay. You can run the internal tuner of your radio without going to external tuner when you cut it to that, okay? And I don't know how far you can go up or down the band with that tuner, because it only tunes 3 to 1, 3 to 1. Okay, with external tuner, your tuner will go out like 10 to 1. Some are more expensive tuners, 15 to 1, depending how good your tuner is. A lot of people don't understand it. I got expensive tuners, you know. I got tuners over here cost, you know, $3,000 just for the tuner, you know. Then you can buy tuners for $100. It's how far that tuner will tune out, you know. That's the question. I don't got a cheap tuner. All my tuners, every tuner I got over here is over $1,000. I'll tell you that right now. I got good tuners. Okay. So I can tune across that whole band with easy, using the internal tuner with the external tuner together. And my internal tuner don't hardly have to work because I got a good tuner and I got it cut close to the resonant frequency. So going back to 265 feet, do you need a tuner for that? No. Your tuner will, your internal tuner of your radio will handle it. How far will it go up and down the band? I don't know. I don't know. I know after you probably get maybe more 50 kcs or maybe 100, maybe, I don't know. Your tuner won't handle it no more. So I never went that route. But if you're only going to run certain frequencies in a certain section and never go anywhere else, you know, you don't need an external tuner. But if you want to go up and down the whole band all over the darn place and run under bands, then you need an external tuner. Does that help you answer out your question?
Yes, sir, it does. In fact, I'm going to go to HRO at around 10 o'clock because I got a few items to return. And I was there a few days ago, and they had some external tuners, used ones for sale, some good ones. I might pick one of those up and then go to the surplus and get some, you know, get several hundred feet of wire, and then do the Fred Fisk antenna system, because I can spool some wire up if I move in March or April and take it to Utah. But so it would be better off if I invested in a good tuner and just used 100 watts than buying a 800 watt amplifier to get out on 30.845, correct?
Oh yeah. I talk all over the place. I got big amplifiers. I never even hooked mine up yet. But get a good tuner. That's the whole thing about it. A good decent tuner. You know, a good decent one. The cheapest one, maybe about $800. But I see some old tuners in there. Those old tuners are well built. You can find an old one. I got an old tuner, Night Viking, big name. They don't make them no more. They don't make them. But at the time when they did make them sell them, they were $3,000. I got one. Night Viking is called. They don't make that tuner no more. I don't know why. But it's one heavy duty tuner. I bought mine back in the 80s. It wasn't cheap. You know? So I bought it because of the power rating. It'll take 5,000 watts because I got a big amplifier. But what I didn't realize at that time, even though you're not running that power, those tuners are more well built.
Yeah, I know. I think, if my memory serves me, they had a PAL Star at HRO Anaheim, a used one, or on consignment, and it was beefy, and it looked good. So I might see if that thing's still there, and I'd rather get one of those and run 220 volts in this house and get all that crap. But yeah, I might do that. You changed my mind, Fred. And I'm posting this on YouTube in about a few hours. So I'll send you the link once it's up. What we're talking about right now.
Pelstar, that's a good tuner. That's a very good tuner. See, if you ever took the covers off these tuners, they're inside, they're gear operated. One gear touch another gear. These are like nylon gears, because they can't be metal. And if they're metal gears, then you're going to see like a little conveyor belt down in there. That's what MFJ does. They run that little conveyor belt, and that belt after a while gets old and slips. Some of them are like a rubber band, and they get old and they slip, and then the counter ain't reading right, gets out of calibration. So I don't like the MFJ tuners. They're junk inside. Now the Pelstar and all them, they're gear operated. They don't have no belt. You got to go change after a couple years and it's slipping everything. So, but they're more expensive to make. But they're a better tuner. But you never know that looking at the tuner from the outside at an MFJ versus a Pelstar. But if you take the covers off and look inside, you'll see the difference.
Well, yeah, that's why MFJ went out of business, I heard, too, because what does M and F and the J stand for? I think it's more freaking junk.
Yes, you got that right. More finer junk, MFJ, yeah. No, Pelstar, that's a good tuner. Those tuners that HRO sells, both of those Pelstar, there's another one in there, I forget the other name, brand. Anything besides MFJ. They're all well-built tuners, okay? Now, when you get into the tuner, they make different tuners. You see one's tuners with the Pelstar has 2 knobs, and then Pelstar makes one with 3 knobs. So, they both tune up, but they're I forget what they call that. The one's called a T-network, and I forget what the other one's called, but they're different, but they both tune up. What's the pros and cons on that? I haven't really understood it yet, but they're both good in tuners depending what you're using them for. Some tuners got ballons built to the side because you asked about a ballon. And some tuners already got a ballon built to the side already. You don't need to buy the ballon.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I want to make it simple and not too expensive, but yeah, I got to return something at HRO at 10, K6MET, and we'll talk to Jeff or Bob. Maybe I'll bring them some donuts. They don't even buy donuts anymore there. That's how times are tough right now. So I'll buy a couple of dozen of donuts and drink their free coffee and hang on. I got to do a costume contest at 11:30 with my wife. So I'll go there right when they open at 10.
So what do they want for that Pelstar tuner? How much do they want for it?
I don't know, Fred. They were still in the back. They haven't priced it yet. So, but they're always getting stuff. I worked there for 3 years and I didn't make any money at all because all the money that I made, which was very little, went back into buying radios and stuff.
But you bought the radios cheaper.
Well, people would bring you stuff in on consignment, and before it went on the floor, I collect old microphones, and someone brought in about 4 different static D104s from back in the day. A Golden Eagle, Silver Eagle, special edition. One was in a case, and I bought it for next to nothing.
The only tuner that I got
Okay.
made by MFG, I do got one.
We are going to post this on YouTube now. That's Fred, the KF6OS in Cerritos.
You ever see anybody made a 2-meter antenna tuner?
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, but MFG is the only one that makes it.
Yeah, but they're more fine junk.
I know, but it works. I only bought it for 2 meters because I wanted to make the wire longer for 2 meters, and I wanted to be able to load it up with a tuner because I'm trying to make a bigger antenna on 2 meters.
No, I get that, Fred. I mean, you met me a week ago. I look dumb and I am stupid. That's my line. No, wait. I look stupid, but I'm not dumb.
Okay. So that's what I bought that for. So I'm trying to take 50 or 100 feet of wire